Hi, I'm Kyle Pederson, and I'm excited to share with you a commissioning consortium opportunity where all the proceeds raised will be donated to a really impactful organization doing some important work out in our community. But first, a little background. I've been thinking a lot the last many months about reconciliation and the role that reconciliation can play in helping us to heal from the brokenness that so many of us are experiencing in so many different areas. There's community-wide brokenness as expressed in economic inequality and racial injustice, political polarization. And there's individual level brokenness and the need to reconcile with friends and family, the need to reconcile with people in our own neighborhoods and workplaces and schools and congregations. And perhaps not surprisingly, there isn't too much choral literature out there exploring this concept. And so I'm stepping on in, and I hope to offer a piece that might be an entry point into conversations if you'd like to explore this idea. And so I've written a text called Reconcile, and my plan is to set it in two different voicings, one unison and a second for two-part, keeping things very, very accessible so that any age or ability of choir could sing this and sing this well. And I think there's something symbolically important and interesting about even an advanced choir being able to join voices in unison to sing about this particular topic. So let me read for you the draft. It will certainly get fleshed out here in the next couple of weeks, but I think we're getting close. And this is from the perspective of somebody turning to another with whom they want and need to reconcile. Forgive me for all the times I stood by, turned aside, and when I cast a blind eye down. I pretended not to see you grieving, not to see you reeling, but I see you now. I'll turn around, my pride laid down. Hear my apology. Can we talk together? I want to do better. Or just walk with me and stay a while. Can we reconcile? Forgive me for all the times I laughed or went on the attack, all at your expense. Behind your back, I undermined what you're about. I sold you out, never came to your defense. I'll turn around, my pride laid down. Hear my apology. Can we talk together? I want to do better. Or just walk with me and stay a while. Can we reconcile? In no way do I want this to sort of represent the whole of reconciliation and that process, or to understate the tremendous amount of work and investment and time and energy it would take for lasting and deep and true reconciliation. So my hope is that this would be perhaps a start. It would be a jumping off point for conversation for you and your choirs, whether those be church choirs, community, or school choirs. If you'd like to explore a little bit about what reconciliation might look like, feel like, and sound like. And you can see that I've left the text very open so that you can find lots of different handles and interpretations on what this process might look like. And you can then use it to explore the form of reconciliation that makes the most sense given your circumstance and your choir. So I'd love to play a little bit about how I envision the piece coming together. A very simple 3-chord beginning that becomes a little bit more elaborate. And then I think I like the idea of giving you the opportunity to loop this indefinitely and include some narration. If you're a church choir, you might want to read some of the outstanding and moving verses on reconciliation in Scripture. School and community choirs, there's all sorts of profound and insightful quotes out there on this process by insightful thinkers and philosophers and leaders. And after you've had your fill of narration, then the melody would come in with the voices. back to the opening progression that could be looped again to allow some additional narration. But if you've had your fill of narration, or if you never liked the idea of narration in the first place, then you could just move on to the second verse, likely a bridge eventually, and at the very end I envision maybe some unison humming, allowing the piano a chance. I'd write out some very easy sort of improvisatory sounding. And it might end like that and out. So let's talk a little bit about some of the details. The cost to join the commissioning consortium is only $75. And for that $75, you'd have the right to make an unlimited number of copies of either of these arrangements for any and all of your choirs. Fun fact, if you even have just a medium-sized choir, it's actually more economical for you to join the consortium than it would be for you to eventually pay for individual copies. There'd be an exclusive performance window through the end of July where the piece would not become available yet to the general public. My plan is to have the piece ready for you by early April so that you could prepare and plan to include it in worship services or concerts in the spring before your choirs break for summer. And perhaps most importantly, all the proceeds raised from these commissioning fees would be donated to an organization called Isaiah. And Isaiah is a nonpartisan, multiracial, multi-faith nonprofit headquartered here in my home state of Minnesota, dedicated to the pursuit and advocacy of racial and economic justice. They do just incredible work that really, I think, is at the heart of reconciliation at the community level. So, thank you for listening and watching what has turned out to be kind of a lengthy introductory video. You're certainly welcome to get in touch with me anytime with questions that you may have about the project. And thank you for considering the opportunity to join together in this movement of reconciliation out in our communities.